I'm a very creative type of person. So doing something almost robotic where you do the same thing every single day, it was driving me
Yeah, I
nuts.
don't like that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, when you're unhappy in the work that you do, it eventually bleeds into your personal life,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like you can only hold on to that for so long. So in that quest, I remember, my husband and I got into an argument and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what our parents warned us about, that we were going to have hard time financially and that, getting married young is not a good idea. All the fears that I had about doing this was just showing up in my face. And at that moment, I realized I have two choices. It's either I leave this marriage or I make it work. And I was not just someone that, would just give up on a person, especially a marriage. You're committed to
Yeah.
this marriage, right? And so we made it work and we spoke about it, found out the root of why we were frustrated, we were angry, we were sad about the life that we were living, and we started talking about our vision, where what we really hoped for when we got married, what our dreams were. We started to rekindle the dreams that we had as individuals and now combining them as a married couple and figuring out together, okay, how can we make that happen? Because our marriage doesn't have to be the end of our dreams, right? And so from then on, fast forward a year later from that conversation, we ended up leaving our warehouse job and I started just diving deep into how to get out of debt. So we left that job with no debt, eventually got into more debt because I didn't have a job waiting for me when I quit that job. But hey, you're young, we didn't have
Yeah.
kids, and you're a little bit more bold and
Yeah.
crazy. So we took that leap, and my husband eventually got into insurance. He started earning commission. He was really good at it, excelled so quickly in his career in the insurance industry. And here I was, really trying to understand the root of our finances. And I researched, how in the world do I get out of debt? And, back in the day, blogs were so popular. And I found this Canadian who was talking about how to get out of debt, started following him, and he started talking about online, earning money online. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this a scam? It wasn't very popular back then.
No, it
Um,
wasn't.
no, no. So I remember he was selling this course for $30 on how to publish books on Amazon because that's how he was earning money online. And I said, okay, $30 back then was like, oh my God, that's like a lot of money for me, especially when you're in debt and you don't have income coming in, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Look, this is how I shifted my perspective. When I go and eat, let's say at a heck, even a fast food restaurant, I easily spend $30.
Yeah.
So I just considered it money gone. I'm going to invest in this. And if it's fake, if I get scammed, whatever, lesson learned. So I invested in that course. I think it was like $36 or whatever. Actually followed it to the T. And then I started earning like $2, $5 on Amazon Kindle. And I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is for real. And that was basically the start of my journey into, diving deep into how can I make this an ongoing income earner for me? How can I actually earn money? How can I do what he's doing? Being a coach and just improving yourself and helping others along the way. So that's my story of how I got started in this whole online gig.
Oh man, that's a good story. The thing about marriage is there's no blueprint. There's no like
Mm-mm.
book. There's no like classes. I think a lot of times, at least from my experience, and it sounds like you're like yo. It's going down, man. Back at it, man. Said, like, share this episode, and all that good stuff. Said, me and my fiance in Colombia are getting married next year. Oh, congratulations, brother. Congratulations. I remember when you said, you were going over there, you know. So are you still in Colombia? You know, I remember when you said you were going over there for a couple of months, something like that, man. I remember you talking about it. Congratulations, man. So hey, where you gonna live over there, or are you gonna be here, or are you gonna go back and forth? Well, what's the yeah, hey, come on real quick, man. Let's talk about it. I want to know. I'm just curious. You don't got to put all your business out there. I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying? You back in Boston. Okay. Okay. You back in Boston. Okay. You're gonna live over there. Oh, okay. So you're gonna live in Columbia. Hey, what part of Columbia? What part? Yeah, what part of Columbia? You know, I haven't been over there yet. I shit, I don't know what part of Columbia to go to. Some people say go to where? Barranquilla. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Go to that city. But you're gonna be in Medellin. Okay. Yeah, people have told me that Medellin might be a little too much tourism for me. Because I'm not really a big fan of tourism cities. But yeah, people have told me to go there. People have told me I wouldn't like Medellin. It's too much tourism. I'm not really a fan of tourism type cities like that. Like I don't like Las Vegas. I don't like New York. Um, I don't really I don't like LA. LA is yeah, you know. I don't like Sydney, Australia. I don't like them type of towns. It's all about tourism and motherfuckers running scams and shit, you know, and robbing motherfuckers, all kind of, you know, I don't want to be in that shit. And all those cities that have tourism, that are built around tourism, the same shit going on. Prostitution, you know, all that drugs everywhere. Motherfuckers is you got the jack boys, they're trying to get you. Some people trying to hustle you. The air quality is really bad in Latin. Oh, really? Well, the air is bad over here. Shit. The air is bad over here, especially if you live in one of those towns that have a paper mill over here. It's really gonna be bad. A paper mill or a steel mill town, it's really bad. Let me see the air quality in Medellin is perfect. Not all Medellin has a lot of tourists. Medellin is huge. Oh, okay. Yeah, they say it's a pretty big city. And Amar is also a really good place to be. State town. I don't I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Terry. You know. ATL. ATL in the building, baby. ATL in the building. What's going down? Yeah, man. Yeah, people have told me to go to Bogota, Barranquilla. Yeah, they told me to go to those two cities. They said I would like, but they said in Bogota it gets cold. I don't like cold weather. I'm trying to get away from this damn cold weather. And the only place that stays warm year round is South Florida. But Florida, I don't know if I want to move down there. God damn. Oof. boy, Florida is redneck. So I don't know if I want to move down there though. I'll probably go half and half eventually, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. And paper and steel. Oh, okay. Yeah. Makwa is another town that's really beautiful. There's not a lot of tourists there. Hey, plus, now I don't speak Spanish now. You gotta. I understand a little bit of Spanish. I, I can. I know just enough to get by. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning Spanish, man. So paper and steel mills are rotten to the noise and environment. Yep. But look how it gets cold, but not that cold. Okay. They're not like here. Okay, I got you. It'd be hard to catch you live, bro. My schedule just switched up. Oh, I feel you, bro. I feel you. The Latino population is busting. Yeah. It's gonna be more and more Latin men and women coming from these other countries over the next. I'm gonna predict this. I'm gonna predict, but for the next 10 to 15 years, the Latin population is going to double in North America. I'm gonna predict that, and I could be wrong, but I don't think so. The way when I'm out and about, they're everywhere. They're gonna double within the next 10 to 15 years. You're gonna be in these small towns, gonna be full up. Full up with mamacitas. I mean, this small town gonna be full up. The big cities is already full up. I went to Denver a couple months ago. I'm gonna say majority was Mexican. That's all I saw. The majority when I went to Denver, majority were Mexicans. I was surprised. I didn't know that. Colorado, California, Texas, Florida. Well, no, not so much in Florida. The northern part of Florida is mainly whites. I said when you get past Fort Lauderdale, it's mostly whites out there, man. That's mostly a South Florida thing when it comes to Latin population. But Northern Florida, that's mostly whites out there. A lot of older, middle-aged white women in places like Sarasota, Jacksonville. At least this is what I see when I go there. In Sarasota, it was a lot of old people there. Ain't a lot of young people there, which I can understand why. Me too. I'm still learning Spanish as well. It's a beautiful language. It feels really good when you speak it. You'll understand why Latinos love speaking their language. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I can see. I can see that. Oh, you're in Denver, Terry? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back there February of next year. I think I'm gonna go back there if I'm not mistaken. And Denver, that motherfucker was cold. It was cold during, god damn, summertime, bro. What the hell's going on in Denver, bro? This motherfucker was cold in the summer. At nighttime, 65. That's some weird ass weather out there. It didn't get warm until Sunday, the day I left. I caught a cold when I was in Denver. Man, I left Charlotte. It was 95 degrees. And I had I left Thursday afternoon. And I got to Denver like 11, just after 11. Man, I was freezing in that motherfucker. Think about it. I left Charlotte 95, Denver 65, bro. I fucked around, caught a cold, man, out there. I'm like, yo, I wasn't ready for that shit. And yo, I didn't see no hot chicks out there like that, man. What's up with that? What's up with Denver, man? What a hot chicks at, man? I see a bunch of grungy, rough-looking white women and Mexican women out there. Oh, yo, what a bad chicks at? What a baddies at in Denver? Yeah, title crazy to him. It's sad, but your accent will kill you real quick. That's why I eat pretty good out there. Shit, got to do something out there, I guess, man. Seattle, Washington also has weird weather. Yeah, I know about Seattle. Yeah. But goddamn, boy, it ain't like Denver. Oof. God damn. It's summertime, bro. This is what? July. July is supposed to be hot, bro. What the hell going on? What the hell going on in this Midwest weather, man? It's some fire? Hey, I didn't see none. I didn't see none, brother. I went downtown Denver, around the airport downtown. I didn't see nothing, brother. I don't know. Where they hang out at? I didn't go to the mall. No. I ain't seen none. Where there? All I see is snow bunnies and Mexican women. That's all I seen, brother. Hey, where the black people at? That's another thing. Hey, where the black people at in Denver? Where? I ain't seen much. Only black people I seen were foreigners. And the security guard that was working at the hotel and the damn desk clerk. They weren't black foreigners. You know, I could tell they had a different mindset. They were just like me. You know what I'm saying? They were putting me on game, man. The desk clerk at the hotel was like, yo, you shit around here ain't that good. She would tell me where to go at, but I never went to places where she told me to go to because I didn't have time. You know? Yeah, but yeah, man, shit different out in Denver, man. You know, it's going on 17 years. I walk down the hill. I mean, I don't run. I hear you, bro. You know, I hear you. You know, that's my first time going there, so I don't know. You know, I don't know, man. It's just a different place than I ever been. It's a different vibe there too. You know, different vibe there, man. But I heard them winters is crucial out there. Woo, man. I heard about them winters out there, boy. Shit. Places like Denver and Minneapolis, man, or the whole state of Minnesota, really. Whew, boy. They said that this shit ain't got nothing on the East Coast. They said, man. See, I've never been in the weather when it was like 10 degrees, 10 below zero, and I never seen no shit like that. So, hey, man, you know, I'll stay on the East Coast, man. You know, yeah, that's it, bro. You know, but yeah, you know, we're in some different times, man. You know, I see a lot of crazy things online. People say what they want to say, and you know, I hear a lot of stuff, but you know, I think we gotta face it, man. Women today are not like grandma, probably your mom, depending on how old your mom is. If your mom is, let's say, over 65, no, over 60, 67. If your mom was over 67 or above, that's a different type of woman right there. You know, the women today are not, they weren't raised like that today. When I was growing up, it used to be family was first when I was growing up. Now don't get it twisted. Women would go and work them jobs and get that money and bring it back home. But family was first. You know, and it wasn't no, if they had to pick between the job and family, they would pick the family before the job. It didn't matter what type of, didn't matter how much money she was making, didn't matter how much, you know, none of that shit mattered. Family was first, you know. So that was the focus for most women that had families. Today, these women, it's all about lifestyle, you know, making money and the job. See, the job is really their daddy. The job is the daddy. The job is their man. You know, that's what that's what it's become. The job is the daddy. The job is, that's their livelihood. They're not thinking about getting married or having kids. If it happens, it happens. That's the mindset of a lot of women today. You can't have a family with a woman that thinks like that. You know, I did an interview a couple of days ago with this woman that's from Canada, and she was saying, and I uploaded the video. Go check out that video. She doesn't believe in traditional relationships. She believed that being in an open relationship equates to freedom. This is what she said in the video now, during the whole interview. And then she went on to say that, well, I am loyal or whatever. And I hate when people say they loyal and they committed, because most people don't know what loyalty and what commitment really looks like. They don't. They think they do, but they really don't. You know? So based on what she was saying, being free to basically live life and to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, whoever you want to do it with, that equates to freedom to her. You know, it sounds like she doesn't believe in no type of structure, none whatsoever. You know, and I didn't really get to ask her everything I really wanted to, because the internet connection was bad, man. There's like if you look at the video, and even if you listen to the audio, there's a delay. I couldn't really get to ask the questions like I really wanted to, because my internet was struggling that day, man. I paid the bill. I don't know what the hell going on, man. But the internet was acting up, but I made the best of it, you know. And she got what? 2 kids. And her daughter is just like her. But her son is the opposite of her. Her son got married and he got a kid. Her daughter is just like her. Her daughter don't want to get married, don't want to have no family, nothing. You know? So it's all about having sex all the time. That's like her thing, basically. All about having sex all the time. That's fun. You know? So that's like empowerment to a lot of women today. You might say it don't make no sense. But yeah, a lot of people think like this. They think like, if me being able to sleep with any type of guy I want, who I and how I want, that's empowering. I'm like, how so? How's that empowering? Anybody can do that shit. There's nothing special about that. People have been doing that. People have been doing that in slavery. Before slavery. You know, so you can't have a family with a woman like that. You can't build nothing with a woman like that. If it's all about fun all the time, and look, it's not going to be fun all the time. You're not going to be happy all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. No. Real life don't work like that. So I think she's been divorced twice. You know, How do you get married twice? Thinking like that. The first time should have been it. The first marriage, that should have been it. Why would you get married again if you know that you ain't gonna be committed? If you know you're not gonna be able to stay around this person because you're gonna get bored. You know? And see, a lot of these women today, they're very shallow. It's all about the job, cars, clothes, jewelry, traveling, doing things, being active or whatever. And if you ask them, hey, what kind of guy you like? If you go online, if you go to any website, dating website, Plenty of Fish, Bumble, what's the other one? Hold on. Where's my phone? If you go online, if you use any of these apps, the stuff that they, or Tinder, any of these apps, most of the stuff the women talk about, this is what they think they like anyway. Now we know they say one thing, but they do something else when it comes down to it. Because see, nature always kicks in. Nature always corrects itself. Like some people like to say. It's true. They'll say one thing because they think that's what they want. They think that's what turned them on. But then they'll meet some guy that they really like, and he's like the opposite of the shit she got listed, or the opposite of the shit you might have heard her talk about. You might say, oh, I like a guy, I like a tall guy, I like a guy with big muscles, and on and on and on and on. And she basically want a man that looked like a woman. If you really listen to some women, if you let them talk, I say, wait a minute, you really want a man on the outside, but a woman on the inside? Kind of. If you really let them talk. But the guy that really turns her on, he ain't gonna be what she said or what she wrote down. That almost never. It almost never happens that way. But even these women, you still can't build nothing with them and have a family with them because they don't know who they are. And if you make the mistake and get that woman pregnant or get married to her, boy, whoo. No. Boy, you gonna catch hell with that woman. She don't know who she is. No, she thinks that, hey, if I dress good, smell good, talk good, or just don't say anything to blow it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm made up with lipstick all over the place, that I'll catch a big fish. And once I catch the big fish, so her whole game is to basically trap him, trap the dude. Because you know why she trying to trap the dude? Because she know she ain't worth a damn. She know that she ain't really, she really ain't got it like that. That's why if you see a woman that's made up, that's like overly sexual, like crazy sex appeal. Now sex appeal is a good thing, but there's some women that's like over the top with it. I'm like, God damn. You know, you don't have to, a woman, you can have sex appeal. You don't gotta show your ass out. You're wearing bodysuits every day. Your titties is hanging out, damn near. You can still have sex appeal and still not take it there. They're wearing bodysuits 5-6 days a week. They go to the job with the bodysuits on. They go to the club with the bodysuits on. They got leggings on everywhere they go, damn near. I'm like, God damn, bro. You know, you can't build nothing with nobody like that. You know, it's gonna be a battle between you and her in most cases. You know, and you end up having to get rid of that woman because ain't no man that feels good about himself that's going to tolerate that kind of disrespect very long. This is why you have some of these women that's been married 2-3 times. So think now, this couple months ago, I met this girl. She said she 32. She been married 3 times. 3 times, man. You 32? Oh my God. This bitch is horrible. I mean, come on, man. You got to be an awful bitch to be married 3 times at 32 years old. I mean, look, you don't even got to be a genius to figure this out. Something's wrong. This ain't no red flag. This is a home run with the red flag. You know, so like, I remember when I was growing up, women didn't talk like they do today. If you ask a woman, hey, what type of guy she wanted back in the day, they didn't really say what women would say today. Yeah, they want a guy to dress good. She wants to be attracted to him. Yeah, that's a given. But even some women, big muscles, being swole, I didn't really hear no woman talk like that, like they do today. Oh, he's too short. I didn't hear nothing like that. No. I didn't really hear no woman talk like that. Oh, you gotta have a big cock, you know. I didn't really hear that like that. You know, it's like, now, could some of these women been thinking like that? Yeah, but they didn't say it. You know, is today a guy can be a good provider and a woman can still leave. Because And the reason why that happens is because she got with a guy and she wasn't really committed to the family. And a lot of times it's the guy's fault because he didn't really know what he had. And she didn't know who she was. So if the right type of guy had come through, if she run into one of them player type dudes that know what to say, and he might not want to actually take her away. He just want to hit her a couple of times. She wants to leave. You know, most guys, they ain't trying to take no married woman away. Yeah, he just want to hit it a couple of times. You know? And you got and today, and even back in the day it was like this. The only guys that had more than one woman, for the most part, was the guys that had money. They could afford. They could afford it. And that was okay for the most part. You know. And women didn't try to do what the guy did. Not at all. But everybody knew what type of guy he was, though. In the neighborhood or in the town or in the community. Everybody know what type of guy he was. You know? And see, women used to keep other women in check back then. They used to call them heifers. They used to call the hoes back then. They used to call them heifers. They didn't call them hoes. They called them heifers back then. I used to hear my mom, hey, heifer, what you doing around here? You know what I'm saying? That means in a nice way, get your ass up out of here. Today, they don't do that. They don't call the hoes out today. They don't say anything today. They let the hoes stay around, kicking it. You know, the hoes can stay around and mingle and whatever with all the rest of the women. Women would invite the hoes over to their house today. That didn't happen when I was growing up. Them hoes, they didn't get invites. They didn't have them hoes around their husband when I was growing up. Today, they invite them over and everything. The hoes be sitting beside the husband in the living room. What the fuck? You invited that bitch over in your house? Everybody done fucked. Except for him. That's how it is today. Women are very friendly today. They don't like each other, but they still very friendly towards each other, which is a weird dynamic. Back then, they wouldn't like that. Nah, there's only a certain group of women that were close. You know, today, the average liberal woman, they call them liberals. They cool with everybody. Everybody cool. You know, they cool with everybody. Gay people cool. The women around where they live is cool. The women at the church is cool. They hang with any and everybody. You know, I'm like, how the hell you hang with everybody? I can't do that shit. I don't want to hang with everybody. I don't want to invite everybody over to my house. That's what the today's modern liberal women, they think like anything that's truth, even though it might be harsh, they don't want to hear that. Keep that to yourself. I don't want to hear that. So them type of women, they can't stand people like Donald Trump and me. They don't like us. Like, oh no, you're radical. You're radical, dude. You're you're controversial. You know, I'm a liberal and all this bullshit. In which it doesn't mean anything. It's just a word that people throw around. And they single, and most of these women are single, by the way, and they can't figure out why they single. I'm like, what? You can't figure out why you single? With that mindset? And they love it. They always say, oh, I love my job. Who cares? Because see, the job is first. That's the job is the man. The job is their daddy. The job is first. You know, the job is the job comes before the dog. You know, they got a bunch of dogs at home, at least one, sometimes two. The job comes before the dog, man. The job comes before the dog. She got dogs and cats at the house. I'm like, damn, how many pets you got? You don't got no room for a man. Where he gonna fit in at? Shit. A lot of these women, man, thought I was fucked up. You know? Oh, a heifer? Yeah, a heifer. That's an old phrase. A woman's responsibilities were to cook, clean, teach, and raise children, while our responsibility was to provide financially. It was a beautiful arrangement. What the hell happened? Well, man, a lot of things happened, bro. Now, some women, unfortunately, had to assume a masculine role because they had kids and shit happens, man, sometimes. I'll give you an example. I got a homegirl I went to high school with. She got 4 kids. Her husband died when the kids were little. Like less than 10 years old, her husband died. So shit like that happens. You know, her husband had to go away, you know, for a while. That type of shit happens too, man. So a lot of women have to assume a masculine role, which is unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because this environment we live in, you know, the bitch might have to be hard body for a couple of years just to raise them damn kids. I understand that. But I'm not even talking about them women. That's just an unfortunate situation that happens. I'm talking about the women that ain't got no kids. And if she do have kids, she had them while she was going through her, while she was making her badass decisions along the way. You know? Let me say, he didn't have life insurance. I don't know. I don't even know, bro. Probably didn't. Because probably didn't. Because I remember, you know, a lot of these, that's another thing. a lot of these insurance companies are kind of shady, bro. A lot of these insurance companies are shady. When it's time to pay out, boy, they be trying to find all kind of ways to wiggle out, paying that money out. This is my experience, what I've seen, you know. But I don't know if I don't know if he had life insurance or not. But I remember when my man passed away, when her husband passed away, she had to move back with her parents for a while. I remember that. So I don't think I don't think they had no money like that. You know, I remember that. This was like 10 years ago. Yeah, I think because they lived in Florence, South Carolina. And they had to go back to her parents' house, which was like an hour and a half away at the time. So I don't think they had. If they did have life insurance, it wasn't worth that much money. If they had to move back in with the parents, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but if they did have life insurance, it wasn't nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it's 100,000 or 200,000. It probably was like 10, 15,000, 20,000, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like most people I know, they ain't really got a lot of money. Most of them is the life insurance for most people is usually less than 50,000. Most people I know. I mean, my shit is what? 200,000. Two yeah, I think so. Yeah, 250. That's my life insurance. But most people, that shit is like 10, 20,000. Most jobs usually give you what? 10,000? Most jobs? They just give you that shit. If I'm not mistaken. You know? But it just depends on the person. Some people they don't be wanting to pay out a certain amount of money out of their paycheck or whatever. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. That's what I've seen from people that I know. But you know, and so there's some women had to assume a masculine role based on the circumstances that they've been put in, and sometimes it's their fault, and sometimes it ain't their fault. Sometimes shit just happens, you know. Especially if a woman lives in the hood. Oh man, if a girl live in the hood, raised in the hood, that shit destroys women. Oh man. Whew. The hood destroys men and women, but especially women. Especially women. This hood destroys young girls, man. Especially in places like New York City. New York City, Atlanta. Oh, God. You get exploited in these in cities like that. I mean, a young girl might never bounce back from that shit. Damn. So that's what I mean when I say they take on a masculine position. It's more of survival than anything else. And some women, I've talked to some women, they never get out of that masculine frame way of thinking. Because they grow up like that and they get a job and move out from their parents. and they still in that survival mode. It's like that's all they know. That's all they know. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens. It shouldn't be that way, but that's how it usually go. You know, here in Boston, there are crazy hoods. I feel really bad for some of our sisters here. Yeah, I mean, I feel you, bro. They have a similar issue to a narcissist. Well, I mean, it goes. I mean, it goes much deeper than just being a narcissist. Even a person that's a narcissist, why are they probably weren't like that all their life. We're a product of our environments. You know what I'm saying? We're a product of our environments. You know? I mean, if you do a comparison, if you compare somebody that grew up in a small country town like me, and if you compare somebody that grew up in the city that grew up in the hood, it's completely different mindset. Now, I can't relate to the person that grew up in the hood. I can understand. I can't relate because I didn't grow up like that. I grew up in a small town. My family was intact. I had, my parents, my grandparents. I didn't have my grandparents on my dad's side. They were killed. They died early. But on my mom's side, I had my parents and my grandparents and my great-grandparents. So picture that. I had my parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents on my mom's side. Most people don't have their great-grandparents. They don't meet them. They usually died early or you came along so late. But the only reason I met my great-grandparents is because they lived to be so old. They lived to be like 100 and something years old. My great-grandparents and my grandparents. And as a matter of fact, my grandparents' sister just died last month. She was 100. She was there's one more left. She was the last woman. She died last month. She was 100. And my grandmother got one brother left. He's the last one out of everybody. And he's like 90-something years old. So people live to be so old in my family. Shit. They didn't really start dying until like 10 years ago. And this is what I saw growing up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody still married. It died. When they died, they were still married. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of that has to do with me being from a small town. Now, some of my uncles did move to New York City. But they ended up moving back. They ended up moving back like after about 30, 40, 50 years. They ended up moving back home. Whatever, But hey, if you have any questions or you want to talk about anything, click the link and come on. I've been on here for an hour. Yeah. But a lot of us, man, we get put in certain situations, and it's unfortunate, you know. So a lot of times, we don't get to pick our parents. We don't, what the hell? Oh shit. The battery's going low on this shit already. We don't get to pick our parents. You know what I'm saying? I hate when the battery start getting low on this shit. So, oh, that's the end of that shit. So yeah, a lot of us we find ourselves in certain situations because and then when we're in certain when we get in these situations, man, we don't have the know it all. We don't have the right tools to be able to navigate out of these situations, or at least try to make the best of it, because we weren't taught. We weren't taught, man. We weren't really taught how to handle certain situations, and there's a lot of lies being taught and spread out here. And you might have grew up in around people where they didn't really like telling you the truth. They maybe sugar coated things, or maybe they themselves were probably uncomfortable talking about certain things. Or maybe you grew up around a simp. Maybe your mom wore the pants in the house. Maybe your mom was the captain of the ship. And that's probably what you saw. You probably thought that was regular until you left the house and saw something else different. I know some people that grew up like that, where the dad was basically a simp. He was passive aggressive or whatever. He was on that shit, happy wife, happy life type shit or whatever. And see, I didn't see that when I was growing up. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know. You know, I didn't see that until I went to college. I'm like, what the hell? Some different shit out here. you know. And then you have certain environments where manhood is not respected. You have to be able to pick up on that. Manhood is not wanted in certain spaces. Like the presence of a masculine man in certain areas is like a cancer. It's like that is toxic. Because like I give you an example. Certain women, if you have standards, good morals, values, some women will say, "Oh, you're a toxic person. You're misogynistic or whatever." And I always say, "Oh, you just have standards. That's all." She can't live up to the standards, or she just don't want to do it. She don't want to live up to it, and that's okay too. Look, any woman can be replaced. There's some woman out there that you would meet and she would hear, hey, hear your standards, what you got going on, where you going, your plans or whatever. There's some woman would say, oh shit, I can do that. What's the problem? And she'll do that along with cooking, cleaning, and working the job if need be. And you might be doing your thing on the side after work, trying to create more opportunities for you and your family so your kids can have a leg up in society. They won't have to go through what you had to go through. She'll be down with all that shit. She'll be on your side like at the fucking red carpet. And not only that, she'll find a way to put gasoline on top of what you already have going on. She'll call them other girls up she just met and get their husbands or boyfriends to go along with what y'all got going on and go along with what you got going on and every goddamn thing. Yeah. She's helping you win. She'll help you win, man. You know, my dad used to tell me, if you can't help me win, you can't be my friend. No. My dad used to tell me, if you can't help me win, you can't be my friend. That's the funniest shit ever at the time when I was growing up, man. But it really makes sense if you really think about it. But yeah, you know, you see a lot of us have had women around us at some point where they don't really support us. They don't really want to do shit. Now they'll be around, they'll hang out, they'll look to see what you got going on, but they really don't want to do shit. And every guy has been around a woman that's like that. You know, now she'll be like a cheerleader. She'll be watching, see what you got going on. So and as soon as you start to bear off, like got some steam, she'll be like, hey, don't forget about me. Like, bitch, you didn't do nothing. What you want? Don't. You got to get rid of them type of women. Get rid of them type of people. You know, they sitting around watching to see what you got going on, and you might have approached them and said, "Hey, I got this opportunity. I got something we can do together, or whatever." And they might have turned you down. Nah, we good, man. I ain't really want to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, one of them type deals. But a couple months or probably years went by, and you still grinding, and they see that they can see where you're going. Now, maybe they couldn't see the vision in the beginning, but as time went on, they see it. And 2-3 years later, maybe 5 years later, out of the blue, he called you, hey, man, see what you're doing, man. Any chance I can get involved now or whatever? They always do that shit. And it's up to you, whether you get them involved or not. If not, I usually say no. That's just me, though. I said, hell no. Shit. You waited 5 years, it's too goddamn late. You only get one shot with me, goddamn it. you know. And all of them, and don't put up with them women that try to take the credit for everything you become successful in. Hell with that bullshit. Don't put up with that. Everything you do, she take the credit. She go and tell her friends, if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have been successful in doing all that. What? Bitch, you ain't do nothing. You was against it from off top. Don't put up with that nonsense. You live with a woman, you lay down with a woman every night, damn near, that was against everything you tried to do. Everything you were successful at, she was against. That bitch got to go. It doesn't matter how you feel about her, or what you feel about her, or what you think about her. The reason why she got to go, because at some point, she's going to self-sabotage. Because in her mind, you know, depending on how she was raised, she probably raised with that loser mentality, where if everything is going well, this is just too good to be true. I'm bored, so they start doing shit. I'm like, what are you doing? If everything's going well, what's the problem? Because they had that loser mentality, self-sabotage. You know, it's kind of like when somebody get to the top and it ain't nothing to do, there's nowhere else to go but down. And the point is, there ain't no top. Either you're growing or you're dying. Either you're going forward or you're going backwards. There ain't no damn top. If there's a top, are you going to self-sabotage? And that's how a lot of people think. They think, oh, I can't wait till I get to the top. And yeah, you're going to self-sabotage on the way back down. If that's how you thinking. There's always something you can do every day to get better. You know? And you're only as strong as the people that you have around you. Which is why the person you get married to, if you decide to get married, is going to be probably the most important thing you ever do in life. If you get it wrong, it's going to be a rocky road, because it's easy to get in. It's hard to get out. But if you're a young man, like in the 20s, and you get divorced, and maybe you get married a second time, 30s or 40s, that's okay. Because, you know, some people call, if you get married early, some people call the marriage in the 20s the starter marriage. And the second marriage is the real marriage. Because by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, you pretty much figured out how this shit works. You know what you want, and you know what you don't want, if anything. And getting married in the 20s, in my opinion, you're just too young anyway. Because you're still trying to figure out who you are. And this woman, more than likely, she don't know who she is. You know? Now, can y'all grow together? Yeah, you can grow together. You know? But if she's a traditional woman, great. You know, if she comes from a family that's intact, Her parents are pretty decent. Her parents keep her in check. Her mom keep her in check. Great. But if she's like the modern day woman that's kind of all over the place, that shit ain't gonna work. Because like women need structure. They need structure. They need other women that call them out every once in a while. Keep them accountable. Nobody's untouchable. I'm not one of those guys that say nobody should be held accountable. Nah, I'm not. I never bought into that idea, that way of thinking. Just because you won some championships, that don't mean that you shouldn't be held accountable. You know what I'm saying? I never bought into that. But, you know. But the good news is the better you become, the better quality of women you attract. This is why I always say you don't get what you want, you get who you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it usually works out here. You know. And I wrote about this. I wrote about this in my books, Boss Life Secrets and Love Can't Wait, man. You can get it on Amazon.com. And you never have to read another book ever again. Really. You know. Like for real, man. Yeah. But don't forget to check out don't forget to check out my Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Join the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to check that out, man. I see. Yeah. Join the brotherhood, man. I uploaded a new episode last night on my Patreon. If you like what I talk about here on my Patreon, I take shit to the next level over there. You know, you can't and you can't talk about relationships without money, income. I talk about relationships and income. I talk about what I did, you know, and I talk about what I'm doing at the moment as well. I talk about where I'm going, you know, because a lot of stuff I say over there, I can't say over here in a public forum. That's just how it is, you know, because, you know, I've been shadow banned. I got shadow banned like 3 years ago, and they still got that ban on my ass, boy. Because if I upload a video over here, well, most people won't see it. Most people won't see it, man. There's people that have sent me emails that said, "Hey, man, I thought you stopped doing videos," because they wasn't seeing the videos. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I ain't tripping, but that's why I got the podcast. That's why I started the podcast 2 years ago. You know, and I can say anything I want over there, do whatever. I don't have to censor myself. I can bring people on, and you know, and it's all good. You know. So hey, that's all I got. I didn't plan on being on here very long. I didn't plan on being on here over an hour. But hey, it is what it is. You know. So if you got any questions, any concerns, Easiest way to get at me is my website. You know what I'm saying? And till next time, I'm out. Peace.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Hair from Cali, I live in the valley. Then you look sexy. Alright.